Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am going to be sharing with you my plants in my bedroom. I have been recording in this room for a little while now, and I just wanted to introduce you to some of the plant babies that I have in my bedroom and I need to do it anyway because these plants are all plants that will be outside with the exception of my pothos plants. All of these plants will be outside. So I definitely have to share with you the plants that are in this room before they're all outside. That'll be a different tour altogether. So I really do hope that you enjoy this tour. It is going to be a pretty short tour because it's just this half of my room that I have plants on for the most part. I do have some on a ceiling kind of shelf or kind of like a kick out, but I've already showed those to you. So I'm going to focus on the shelves that I have on this side over here. And I really do hope you enjoy this tour. Right here we have a couple of plants that you've seen before. This is my Alocasia stingray, and she is really taking off in growth. She has lost quite a number of leaves. She has gained quite a number of leaves, and I am in love with this plant. This is one of my favorite plants in my collection, and I do love all of my plants. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to say that a lot in this tour, but this plant in particular, I have been through so much with her. At one point she went down to I believe she had one leaf at one point. It was a very strong leaf, but it was one leaf. And after she went down to one leaf, she exploded with growth. And it just made me so hopeful for any of my alocasia that kind of go dormant or die back, because she didn't go dormant. This was in the heat of the summer as much as she did die back. She had spider mites, and after I treated her, she just died back. So this plant being the way she is right now is just something. It just makes me so happy. I really, really love this plant. And then right below her is this beautiful pothos. This is a neon pothos, and if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm obsessed with neon pothos. Pothos is my favorite genus of plant, and this neon pothos is just something. It just brings such beautiful color to any grouping of plants, and so I just really love that plant. So there's always going to be one in one of my in my plant tours. Okay, in the window up here, I have this beautiful Argyraeus. This is my Syndapsis argyraeus. I just did a video sharing with you this plant right here, and she lives in this south-facing window, and she really does like her placement. And then right next to her, I have my beautiful Exotica, and she is just so beautiful. I mean, she's gorgeous. I love that plant so much. And then I have another pothos. This is the Pearls and Jade pothos, and the shears that they are in front of are the shears from IKEA that are in a package for $5.99 for 2 panels, and they are so wonderful for my home because my windows are so long, so tall, and they go all the way down to the floor. Now with these plants right here, I have to make sure that part of my spider mite treatment is spraying my curtains. I have to make sure, I mean, I guess that's with any type of curtains, but because these are shears, the open weave of the netting of these curtains can give you problems if you're not careful. So I just spray my curtains with my spider mite treatments, and then I take them down and wash them regularly. Okay, next to the Pearls and Jade, I have a Brazil. This was one of my original Brazils that most of my Brazils came from. This plant right here, I almost lost last summer, and because I don't know what it was that I was doing wrong, as much as I was doing something extremely wrong, and she started to die back. And so what I did was I cut her back all the way, and I propagated her into so many different plants, and I'm so happy that I did that because that took the stress off of her and she became full and beautiful again. So I'm really happy about that. Next to her, I have a Tradescantia that I actually forgot about. She was in one of my hallways that I was trying to incorporate plants into, and so she looks a little bit funny right now, but I am going to nurse her back, and I'm still going to showcase her because she's still beautiful and she's still my baby, so I'm not going to mistreat her in any way because she will have better days. Next to her, I have a lemon lime philodendron. This is my only lemon lime philodendron. I've never propagated this plant. When I found her, originally, I didn't know that she was a lemon lime philodendron. I thought she was a sickly philodendron. But then I looked at her and I said, well, she looks a little sick, but she's really pretty. And then come to find out she was actually a different variety that I had just never heard of. So I'm really happy that I purchased her. I think she was $5 when I purchased her. And she was just sitting in Home Depot all by herself. And I'm so happy that I purchased her when I did. Now over here, the last one in this on this window is a Micans, a philodendron Micans, and this plant right here, when having it trailing, this was a trouble plant for me. I didn't understand it. It doesn't grow the way the others grow, where they still have big leaves when they trail down. So I actually kept cutting her back, thinking that her leaves would get bigger. But then I just came to terms with the fact that she would have smaller leaves, and I really, really like her now, the way she cascades down the curtains. And so it has worked out really well because this is something I love. I have 2 of them that grow like this, and I am so happy with both of them. Next to her in this corner is this Marble Queen pothos, and this one right here has been moved all around my house. This was a plant that I've shared with you before. It was 6 feet long before I gave it a nice trim, and now she's growing out still, but I have trimmed her back because she was drying out entirely too quickly and I didn't want to repot her just yet. And so I had to just give her a trim. But she's a beautiful plant. I love her, and yeah, that's it. Okay, now over here on my dresser, I have my peace lily. This is one of the peace lilies that I hold with you, and she is throwing out new leaves. Every time I look through her stems, she has more leaves, more in bigger leaves. The leaves are getting so big. She's still putting out flowers. I just love this plant so much. And then down below her, I have 2 propagation containers. In my little pink cactus, I have some global green and neon pothos. And then in the other container, I have some Marble Queen cuttings that I have over here. And then right inside, right in there, I have a couple of flowers from my aglaonema that I didn't want to get rid of. They are so cute. I love that little cactus so much. I bought a whole set of them. They're pink. They're pink and green. They're just so cute. I love them. I got them in Aldi. Okay, now for this side of the room, I have a table that has, I sit here at this table a lot, and so I normally keep plants that I'm just enjoying looking at for the time. And so this Snow Queen is normally sitting here because I love this plant. I love her so much. She is the plant that made me love pothos. I saw one of them at a friend's house, and I was just over the moon in love with that plant. So this is a plant that it just brings me joy to sit here and look at this plant. And then next to her, I have my original poly, Alocasia poly. Now she is an amazing plant. She's a very strong plant. She has 1 stem. She has had 1 stem for a very long time, but she is a strong stem. Originally, she did not have 1 stem. She had quite a few leaves on her, but somewhere when I repotted her, I potted a corm from my Alocasia stingray that I showed you from over here, and the stingray completely took over the pot to the point that this was left with 1, and so I had to take the stingray out. When it developed, I said, oh, that doesn't look like a poly. And it wasn't. It was not a poly, but I didn't know. I really just didn't know. Now, I think my obsession for spider plants right now is definitely back in full effect. So I have been trimming babies off of my spider plants and propagating them so that I can have lots of big full babies for the springtime to put into my yard. And then I have some cuttings of my Pilea aluminum plant, and I don't think I'm going to put this one back in soil. I have had such trouble with this plant in soil, but as soon as I put it into this water container, I just cut all the ends of the plant off, put it in this water container, and it's doing so beautifully. I don't think I'll go back to putting it in soil because it's just so perfect in this propagation container. So I am just going to get it a permanent vessel to have it in, and I will leave that one just like that. Now over here to these shelves. Now these shelves eventually will end up outside and on my side porch. They will both be outside. So this will not be here at all this summer. So it's time for me to just show you exactly what's happening on them. So Over here, I have my snow Dieffenbachia. This was a rescue plant that I purchased from Home Depot. Not the one that I just purchased a couple of days ago, but this was the one I purchased quite some time ago, a couple months ago. And she is so pretty. I just love that plant so much. And then next to her, since she's taking over the scene anyway, I have another peace lily. She is huge, absolutely huge. She is so big and beautiful. I love this plant. This is a definite jungle appeal plant if you are looking for that jungle feel in your home. She is in a basket that says the Bane or the bathroom, but when I first purchased this container, it sat in my bathroom and it had towels in it. But now I have it with my plants in it, and it actually got all stained up. I've tried to wash this thing in the washing machine, everything. The stains won't come out from the soil and all of the things that, you have to put into your plants in order to keep them happy. So it's not dirty. It's just stained, but I still love it, so I still use it. Okay, at the base of this Dieffenbachia, I have the cuttings of my Peru that got root rot. And so I just have her sitting here in water, and she's doing really well. I do still have the mommy plant. She is sitting in my sun window, and she's doing well. Okay, now we'll come down here. Okay, so down here I have an Argyraeus that I just made some clippings of, and then I put it over into this container, this clay pot, and I really like the way that looks in there. Then in the back I have a beautiful silver sword, and this was gifted to me by somebody on Facebook Marketplace, and she just said that she wasn't able to make it happy. It had 2 leaves, and so she ended up gifting it over to me. And I think in the future, when it gets a little bit bigger, I'm going to trim it, and I'm going to give her a piece of it back, and hopefully she'll still be able to have her plant and just know how much I appreciated her gift. Next, I have a Regal Shield. I grew this from corm. Now, I'm looking at the smaller leaf. The smaller leaf is definitely not Regal Shieldy. The corm was marked as a black velvet, but it doesn't look necessarily like a black velvet. Let me just compare it very quickly. This is my black velvet, and this is this baby leaf. And maybe it is a black velvet. That does look a lot alike now, doesn't it? I guess we'll see in time exactly what it is, but this is the Regal Shield, and these were, again, both grown from corm. I love this this plant so much. It's so beautiful. Then right here, this is a little container that we did for an art project in our homeschool classroom, and this is a string of pearls and a string of tears. I purchased the string of pearls from a local nursery, and it was infested with gnats. And so I didn't think I was actually going to ever have this plant, because I had to take drastic measures with it because it was infested. It was separated when I purchased it. It was in a plastic bag, and by the time I put it into a plastic bag, the entire bag was just swarming with gnats. It was absolutely awful. I haven't been back to that place since. Yeah, I mean, there's no question as to why, as much as I just haven't been back there. Okay. Now, this is my exotica that my mother-in-law shared with me the cutting of, and I just recently shared this in my Syndapsis collection video. This is my Monstera pinnata patita, and this was gifted to me from Facebook Marketplace from someone who was not going to bring in the moss pole that they had with just the clipping, just the nodes of this plant. There were no leaves on it. They were just nodes. And I was really, really into the challenge of trying to bring this back. And I'm so happy that now I have it. And she is growing on her own now. And I'm really excited about her. So here is another clipping of the Pinnata partita. This was another one that I am going to try growing outside. Then over here I have my Aslanii that is growing a new baby. Look at her beautiful leaf. This is the old leaf. She's still beautiful, beautiful coloring. She's seen some better days, but she's still beautiful. And then there is the leaf that is just emerging. And I was told they do not like to be touched, so I'm doing my best not to touch her. On the other side, here are my silver dragons. Thank you so much for the right name for these. These right here are my silver dragon Alocasias, and she has a new baby coming up right there in the middle. So excited about her. I love this plant. This was my rehab plant that I purchased, and she is growing in so nicely, and I love her. Okay, down here I have some clippings. This is a Brazil, and I just made a big mess with that last shelf. And here is another Brazil and a lipstick plant, the Black Pagoda. Then there's just a little container of water just to add a little bit of moisture over here. And then this is my Aslanii that I grew from corm. And there are a couple of others in there sprouting, and I'm really excited about her coming up. She's so beautiful. Next to this container, I have my propagation container with my pink princess cuttings, and they are really doing well. I haven't opened her container today, so I'll do that a little bit after I do finish this video. Then down below that, I have quite a few propagation situations down there that I am, there's some things that I had to propagate, and so I have more propagations than I normally would, but they are not for me, so it's okay. The final shelf. Top down, we have our sterling Dieffenbachia that I just hauled with you guys. She's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I love this plant. My heart still beats when I see her. I can't believe I have that. And then I have some propagations here. This is an exotica from the exotica that I had that had root rot. And so these are just a few more of the pieces. And then I have a Micans right behind it. Behind that, I have a Dieffenbachia that I will have to put the name of on the screen. I have two of them that are the same. I did haul the second one with you. They were both rescues from Lowe's. And then this is my Dieffenbachia. What is the name of this one again? I have to look that up again. But she's beautiful, and she was a propagation that my mother-in-law gave me when I started collecting plants. She was a little tiny plant, and now she's huge. I love her. On this side over here is my huge jade. I'm sure I've shown this jade to you so many times, and she is huge, and she loves her new spot. Okay, now on this shelf, I have a lot of my Alocasia. I have this Alocasia, which is a bunch of corms that are growing out. And then I have another plant that was gifted to me from Facebook Marketplace, and they are all in this one container. And then next to it, I have my Cupria that I just recently hauled with you guys, and her leaf that is new and coming in is right there. Now, I know that this second shelf is not ideal for them because they won't grow straight up, but I will put them outside, and I think that's when they will just straighten up like my Stingray did. But for right now, I actually like the idea of them like this black velvet hanging over toward me. And it took a while for me to train this one right here to hang over like this. And I really, really like the idea of them just hanging over toward me. Behind there, I also have another Dieffenbachia, and as tiny as this thing is, I have had this plant for 1.5 years now, but she kept dying back. I didn't know what I was doing wrong, but she kept dying back, and so I'm just happy that she's still alive. And right now, she seems to be more stable. I put her in a bigger pot because her roots are extensive. So I put her in a bigger pot, and that seemed to have done the trick to make her a little bit happier. Next to that, I have a teardrop peperomia, and she's beautiful. I thought I was going to lose that plant, but I didn't, and I'm so happy. I believe she had spider mites because her main stem got all mushy. I put her outside, sprayed her down, repotted her, left her outside last spring and summer, and when it was time to bring the plants in, she was still just doing so well. I am so happy about having her, and I just leave her in that spot. I don't touch her because I think I was definitely doing too much with her. In the corner over there, I have my Golden Goddess Philodendron. She was a rescue from Lowe's, and she is just getting stable. She's about 1 year old in my collection, but she was a very, very weak specimen, and she just needed some love. And I'm so happy that she now is doing well. because she's so beautiful. She just put out these 2 new leaves, and oh, I just love that plant so much because she looks like the lemon lime, the neon pothos. So I love her. I can't wait until she gets bigger, although I'm happy with her right now as well. Then over right in the front here, I have my dragon scale. Thanks again, Carlos, and one other person shared with me that this right here was not, this was the actual dragon scale that I have, and she is still doing well. She has a new baby coming up. Carlos, you asked me about how she was doing, and she is doing really, really well. Look how beautiful she is. She's crispy on the edges, but she is gorgeous. Oh, that is a beautiful plant. And then over here I have an African violet, and she's beautiful. I've never seen her flower. I purchased her for $4. She was a rescue plant, but I tell you, I love this plant. I love the leaves on her so much. Okay, going down a section to another shelf. This is my mellow Alocasia, and she actually just lost 1 leaf, and she got a little bit yellow. I didn't see anything with it as much as I don't see any pest or anything on her, but she did lose a leaf, but it looked like it just detached because it's not in the perfect lighting situation. But I'm still okay with her being on this shelf, and as I have them where they're getting sun from too many different directions, they split easily. So I can't wait to put those outside so that they won't have that issue anymore. Okay, over here I just have a bunch of little propagations in this cute little pot, a neon and a Brazil, and I believe there's just oh, I think that's all that's in there. I think I took the other piece out to pot it up with something else. In front here I have my pothos, my Epipremnum Cebu Blue, and she's gorgeous. What am I seeing over here? Okay. This plant actually fell and the pot broke the other day. So I just recently had to repot it. So I'm just like, you know, really giving her a once over. But her leaves are getting really big. I love this plant. So very easy, but she is thirsty. Back here, I think this is some type of a palm. And again, this was a rescue. It was a $3 rescue. And I thought she was going to die last summer because she was all brown. But then I put her outside and she renewed herself. And so I'm so happy I did not give up on her. So incredibly happy. So back here I have my Nanook Tradescantia, and I love this plant so much, but she does not like for me to touch her. So I have to love her from a distance so that she doesn't have any problems. I literally have that part of this lip of the pot right there open so I can pick her up, pour some liquid in the base of her, and then not touch her at all because she does not like for me to touch her. It must be something about the oils from my skin that gives her damage, and so I just let her be beautiful and I just look from a distance. Okay, down here, well, back there I have some artwork from my daughter when she was a little tiny button. She's so cute. And then in front I have this beautiful snake plant. I love that snake plant so much. I love the snake plants with the yellow margins on the side. I think they're so beautiful. Then here's just another propagation container that just has a bunch of different pothos in it. And then back there's a Tradescantia that I just had some broken pieces, and so I put it there. Over here, this was a whole bunch of wet sticks of Mykins, and I just put them in a pot, and now this is what it looks like. So she's really cute. I have some stone crop right over there, and that is really doing well. I mean, that's really doing well. And I literally do nothing with her. And then over here, I have a fire flash. I believe this is a mandarin spider plant, and I love her. I have to stay away from her because I think I was overwatering her. So I had to move her back and away from my watering hands because I was doing the most with her. So that is the full tour of my bedroom plants, and I am in love with this space. This is a space that brings me so much happiness, so much joy. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks again for joining me. Bye.